We love chunking. It's brain-based. This is how I explain it to 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. I put out my empty hands and say, pretend I had chocolate in my hands. This hand has a little bit, and this has a big chunk. Point to which one you want. Now point to what your kids would point to. Absolutely. And I say, well, I know you want a big chunk of chocolate. Guess what? Your brain wants big chunks of letters. They're groups of letters that go together. Now, teachers, we know we're talking about the rhyme patterns, R-I-M-E, those common patterns. But any bigger units of print, I think, are chunks, and I call them chunks. So it could be the blends. Any bigger units of print, because the last house on the block is for them to decode a word letter by letter and sound by sound. Now that's where they start, right? But we want them to start finding bigger pieces. This is how they're going to become a reader. So let's look at chunking the word. This little group were ready for chunking. The rest of my class wasn't. So I'm doing it as a focus at the end of our guided reading group. They were ready for it. Why should they wait? What to teach, page 29. Now at the top are the 37 most common patterns to teach kids to read. Do you remember when we had those little boxes on 97, 98, all of those? It's the same ones. What I have done though, on the bottom of the page, is I've added the next 52 most common patterns. Every word has a vowel pattern. In fact, the truth is every syllable has a vowel pattern. But some you get more bang for your buck. That's why we have this list. Like O-U-G-H, it does not take you very far. So let's teach the ones that our kids need the most, right? And if you want to focus on a sound, if your kids are having trouble with R-controlled vowels, then use some of the R-controlled vowel patterns, you know, like or. Pull out a common pattern to do a little bit of word work for your focus at the end of your group. Now I think you might be going to the grocery store with a little different point of view. Let's see how we can use chunks from the grocery store. Do you see a chunk that's the same as in crest? Raise your hand quietly if you know it. Robin.
Car.
Car. Car starts like crest, good for you. But you know what? The chunk starts with a vowel. So we're going to look right here, Robin, okay? Anthony.
Est.
Est. What's the picture to remind us of that?
Vest.
Introducing chunks to students means directing their attention to the letters in words, moving beyond beginning and ending letter sounds.
Now look what we're going to do. We are going to put that crest right there, and we're going to brainstorm some est words. There got to be more than just crest, don't you think? So let me put our chunk up here. The chunk that we're going to use is est. Notice I'm writing it in red. We need to change the letters as a unit of print. Who can raise a hand and tell me? Trish.
Chest.
Chest. Chest like chest of drawers where you keep your things in, or chest across your front. Now watch. I'm going to make the first sound and you have to tell me to spell it. Ch. What should I put? Wait a minute. Spell the chunk.
E-S-T.
Paula, do you have another one? What is it?
Pest.
Pest. Now, who's a pest at your house?
My cousin.
Your cousin's a pest. So we can differentiate with short vowel grocery items, with long vowel grocery items, with compound words from the grocery store. Makes a great bulletin board. The kids will start bringing stuff in, won't they? So when Andrea brings in the milk carton proudly, we say, thank you, let's brainstorm, and this can be a whole group or with your reading group. Let's brainstorm and see if it's got a lot of words we can make. Now, you know how in print and books we're always showing them how to find the first vowel? You know, that's how you find the chunk. Well, now we're doing it on a milk carton. In other words, showing them words everywhere.